wiki, and that's what I said. You know, y'all heard of, they say we make up Ebonics. Y'all making up Greek phonics. And because y'all scared of the Greeks, and y'all idolize Greek, oh man, you see his toga? You see how he wrestled all oiled up with that man? He was wrestling one day. I want to wrestle with no naked man for that. Y'all be careful who you idolize. The Greeks became, man, Zeus must be with him. What? This thing's so hard, Zeus. Be careful who you idolize, family. Let's get this on Wikipedia. Can you read what logos, the origins of the term logos?
Logos became a technical term in Western philosophy.
And where?
In Western philosophy.
Where are we? What's that new song the brothers got with Lorvins and Yahweh Shai? Where are we from?
The East.
We're from the East. Where's this stuff start at? You over in the West, they ain't found no relics in Greece. They ain't found no Hebrew rites in Greece. If they did it with our ancestors, but they were Hellenized. So you already in the West, and we're people from the East. What are you bringing this to me for, Pastor? I don't want none of this logos crap. Read on.
Beginning with Heraclius.
Beginning with Paul.
Beginning with Heraclius.
With Matthew.
Heraclius.
Well, surely Luke know about this.
Beginning with Heraclius.
This logos came from the West, beginning with this Greek name Heraclius. Read on.
Who used the term for a principle of order and knowledge.
So we got to slow down. Let me slow down. The Father give you an ear and an eye to just dissect everything you're saying. Logos is a technical term in the West. Okay, we're from the East, so okay, now I got to side-eye you. So it's a technical term from the West. What's like technical means? So what you say, Nick? Technically, babe, I'm not really late for dinner.
We got to get hands like.
And she been here starving. Technically, because it was a traffic jam, babe. So technically, I'm not late.
And it's saying it's a made up term. It's saying it's a made up word. That's what it's saying.
This logos term is made up by the Greeks.
Yeah, specifically this dude.
He says, so let me finish the breakdown. It was used for the term for principle. I'm just using it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just using this as a term. I'm going to take screwdriver, and screwdriver is a term for husband. Where's your screwdriver at?
It's just like one.
You see how dumb they sound? But you repeat this in church and in seminary, and now you think you have a logos doctrine. This Greek man Heraclius just started using the term to refer to this principle of order and knowledge. Read on.
Ancient Greek philosophers used the term in different ways. The sophists used the term to mean discourse. Aristotle applied the term to refer to reasoned discourse or the argument in the field of rhetoric and considered it one of the three modes of persuasion alongside ethos and pathos. Pyrrhonist philosophers used the term to refer to dogmatic accounts of non-evident matters. The Stoics spoke of the logos spermaticos, the generative principle of the universe, which foreshadows related concepts in Neoplatonism.
Platonism. The Stoics spoke of the logos spermaticos as the generative principle of the universe. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was. Now, this is going to tie into uprooting Christianity, showing you that, yes, our apostles was real. They were real men, but these pagans who were once following Stoicism, they have edited John's and them letters. And you can see the Stoics and Neoplaton, these all were Greeks who became philosophers. And now if you go to Plato's school, you are a Neoplatonism. Or you go to the Stoic school, you are Stoic. So we see these Greek philosophies injected into our apostles' letters. If John was saying in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Yah, and the Word became Yah, he's not giving you no Stoic philosophy here. You don't understand what John was saying because you don't speak Hebrew. Y'all see the power coming back to this? We got to forsake all this mess. Let's continue on and get some more.
The Gospel of John identifies the Christian logos.
Stop. But where did John talk about the Christian logos? Can you pull it up for me in the ride, please? Patrick, can you go? Where does John talk about the Christian logos? Mario, you've been going hard for now. Pull it up. Mr. Precept, is Mr. Precepts in the crowd?
He was.
Where is John talking about Christian logos? Where did he say Christian logos at? So George, you was about to get ready to go to seminary, weren't you? I'm sure you found this somewhere. No? You see how they just making stuff up? John don't mention no Christian logos. Pastor, what you doing? Pastor, you need to come back. Where my movie people at? Don't sit at the kiddie table. See, don't sit at the kiddie table. John ain't talking about no Christian logos. Read on.
Through which all things are made as divine.
Stop. All things are made as divine, theos. They don't understand Abba. Everything you see right here, family, is divine. Me, I come from the Father. You come from the Father. These lights, they came from one of Abraham's sons. That's divine. These bricks, everything in this realm is divine. So what are you talking about, Pastor? Everything is divine because it comes from him. Even the evil spirits who rebel, they're divine. So you see the seminary crowd, I'm sorry, it gets me like, you sound so pious. Well, you see, you understand that the locals, it became the essence, and it became the, and you got people ignorant just like, wow, he's deep. Wow.
That's witchcraft.
You barely made it through high school. You should be like, whoa, my pastor.
That's what, just like what you said.
He got it. Go on, Pastor, go on.
Run up there throwing $100 down. Run up there throwing $50 down. You going paying this man to give you lies. John ain't talking about no Christian logos nowhere in none of John's letters. Let's keep going.
And further identifies Jesus Christ as the incarnate logos. Early translators of the Greek New Testament, such as Jerome, in the 4th century AD, were frustrated by the inadequacy of any single Latin word to convey the meaning of the word logos as used to describe Jesus Christ.
Can you read that again real slow? Can y'all get the grasp the magnitude of what this is saying?
It says, early translators of the Greek New Testament, such as Jerome.
Jerome gave you the Latin Vulgate. Read on.
And the Vulgate is where KJV came from?
Not exactly.
Oh, okay.
We're going to get to this KJV.
And it says he was frustrated by the inadequacy of any single Latin word to convey the meaning of the word logos as used to describe Jesus Christ in the Gospel of John.
They don't know what pagan word to use because you can't match the Hebrew word for word. So these pagans like, this is a leaner. This is closer. Don't play in horseshoes with our text. And then you got me going to hell following your logos doctrine. That's why this Christianity, that's why church is so sinister, family. They looking at us like, why are you going to say it like that? Your house is on fire. You want me to whisper? House is on fire. Your grandma in the house. Big mama, house is on fire. No, big mama, get out. That's why we coming at you like this. Read on.
The Vulgate Bible usage of in principio erat verbum was thus constrained to use the perhaps inadequate noun verbum for word.
They're telling you their language is inadequate for the Hebrew. Their language doesn't match the Hebrew. So you have an inadequate doctrine in your church. Your pastor has an inadequate seminary doctrine. He has an inadequate degree on his wall. Laying hands on you, talking about logos and let it go and spitting on you and waving my rag over you. Let's keep going, Op.
But later, Romance language translations had the advantage of nouns such as le verbe in French. Reformation's translators took another approach. Martin Luther.
Here come your pastor.
Martin Luther.
Here come your father, Martin Luther, the Protestant Reformation leader. Here come your daddy. You're not following Messiah. You're following Martin Luther. That's your pastor. 1500s.
And Martin Luther rejected Zeitwort, a verb, in favor of wort, word, for instance, although later commentators repeatedly turned to a more dynamic use involving the living word as felt by Jerome and Augustine.
Your church fathers. So your church fathers can't agree what word we should use because they're not Israelites. So you're taking my elders' epistles that they left to us and you're adulterating them.
So even though that Zeke word is trash in itself, if you go back to it, it says Martin Luther rejected your pastor. What you said, that's the pastor, right? He rejected the action word.
Yeah, to do something. So now you go to Martin Luther, Living by Grace. There's a website that we're going to go to when we get back to Christianity. His whole philosophies and doctrines and sermons on his website. Living by Grace, Solo Fide, faith only, Solo Gracia, grace only. Martin Luther's your daddy. That's what you would have went to seminary to learn. Wow. Martin Luther's doctrine. So we're going to get there, but he's rejecting, like Nariah's bringing out, Martin Luther is rejecting doing work, action. God, you just, I believe. Yeah, you believe why you need to get no tithe. Well, pastor, wait a minute, pastor. You said I just got to believe. Now you're asking for money. Money is work, pastor. Which one is it? Well, yeah, you are saved by grace, but we're going to need a couple dollars. Their doctrine makes no sense. And our grandmothers, our aunties, our brothers and sisters are looking at us like we're devils. We're in a cult. And you just had Easter bunnies at your church. You just had your grandchildren marching around with bags. I seen a video from good people having Easter egg hunts with little innocent babies. And I'm seeing these babies just with skull and crossbones on their faces because their parents killing them.
My sister was doing it too. Did you see a picture of, I guess it was a church that had the white man come dressed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our people sick. Did you see the baby face, Nick? Yeah. The baby was like, the baby was like, the adults supposed to have the sense. The adults are smiling, and the baby was like, the whole head is sick, family. We're doing our best, trying to make it light and have fun to pull these people out. But if we're asking you for scriptures to prove what you're living by and you can't, it's a spirit in you. Why are you getting offended? I'm asking you for a scripture to have Thanksgiving. Mom, I'll be there. Just give me 2 scriptures. I'll be there with bells on. Let's get some more about this logos.
Despite the conventional translation as word logos is not used for a word in the grammatical sense.
Say what?
It's not used for a word in the grammatical sense.
What is talking about? It's not word. Logos is not used for word. Okay, keep reading.
For that, the term lexis was used.
Lexis is used. So the real Greek word for word is lexis. Anybody ever heard of lexicon? So Dr. Seminary, if the Greek word for word is lexis, why do you say Jesus is the lexis? Why are you saying Jesus is the logos? You learn all this Greek and you still ain't making sense. Read this again.
That's it. Despite the conventional translation as word, the logos is not used for a word in the grammatical sense. For that, the grammatical sense, the term lexis is used. However, both logos and lexis derive from the same verb, lego, lego, meaning I, count, tell, say, speak.
And then I'm just highlighting that all this is Greek philosophy. And Heraclius was the first one to just take the term logos and says, boom, I'm going to use it in this context. Heraclius is not a disciple of nobody that in our tree. He didn't see Messiah. He didn't walk with Messiah. He didn't even walk with none of the apostles. So you're running with this logos and it's an incarnation of Jesus Christ. You don't know what you're all in the Kool-Aid and don't know the flavor. You're all in the Israelite mustard and can't catch up. So, what you say, Queen?
Johnny come lately.
Johnny come lately. Now, let's reclaim our power. Let's reclaim our heritage, the Barya language, and let's show you how more powerful John's intro is to his letter. Let's go to Colossians 1:15 again, and I'll get Revelation 1:41, 1 and 5 ready. And we're going to show you the power of this tongue. And because I was having a conversation with some family, and we all want to know, we all want to be sure we ain't just no longer being indoctrinated and just rehearsing things that we're just receiving. That's why we take the time. They're like, y'all be in class a long time. Yeah, because I don't want you trusting me for nothing. I want to give you the receipts. And I want to challenge you, take it and verify this. And these brothers right here have been with us now for a year. They tell you, like, yeah, bring it back. Oh, yeah, that wasn't right. We got to X that out and correct it. Everyone should be Bereans. Don't take no man word for anything. Colossians 1:15. Read.
Who is the image? You want me to go to 13?
Kyle, before you do that, Sister Joyce, get John 1:1 back, or John 1:1 back up. I'm gonna show. I'm gonna calm down because I love this stuff. I love beating the devil in the face. I'm Judah. I like this stuff. I like it. So we're gonna show you now what John was really saying in our language. He was talking about Father and the Son, but he wasn't telling you that the Father and the Son are the same people. He wasn't telling you that the Son is equal to the Father. We're going to put this in Hebrew and show you what John was saying. So Colossians 1:13, you said? Colossians 1:13, read.
Who hath delivered us from the power of darkness and hath translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son, in whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sin.
Right.
Who is the image of the invisible Elohim, the firstborn of every creature.
So this is messianic. Messianic, Christ or Messiah, Hamashiach, Yahushua, he's the firstborn image of the invisible Elohim. But he's the first form of this invisible Elohim. So he's the first, right? Now, Revelation 1:5. Revelation 1:5. Read.
And from Yahushua Mashiach, who is the faithful witness and the first begotten of the dead.
Dr. Seminary, how many times are our elders going to say he's the first begotten? Begotten, I don't care what lexicon you use, begotten is going to come back to he was formed, he was created. How do you got he's pre-existent and he's pre-existent like God is pre-existent? The text is telling you he's the first begotten. Finish that up.
And Yahushua Mashiach, who is the faithful witness and the first begotten of the dead, Washar la Malak la Barataza.
No, I'm just joking. You like to go out. You like to go out.
He all wants
I gotta practice. It's practice. And the prince of the kings of the earth.
So what? Stop. He's the prince of what?
The kings of the earth.
So Hamashiach is the prince of the kings of the earth. What's our name in the Hebrew?
Yasharallah.
Yasharallah. The Hebrew word for prince is shar. So he's the prince. He's the head of the kings. Who's the kings of the earth?
Yasharallah.
Come on, y'all. This is real.
It's right.
We line up. I can spit on you and push your head back and let it go, and smack you in the butt. We had church in here. We're proving everything we're living by here. He's the prince of the kings, and the kings of the earth are us. He's the Yasser Allah and we're Yasser Allah Jr. Everything we practice and teach, we can prove it, Dr. Seminary. Can you read the challenge? Oh, y'all ain't got no love. Y'all Pharisees. Because I asked you for a scripture. I'm a Pharisee.
Unto him that loved us and washed us from our sins in his own blood.
So Hamashiach is the first begotten. Both of the texts agree. Colossians, they say written by Paul, and then Revelations written by John. They both were saying that he's the first begotten and he's the prince, he's the head of the kings, right? Well, man, this keep going long. He's the head of the kings. But who's the head of the kings of kings? The Most High.
It's right here. Look, 6. And have made us kings and priests.
Come on,
unto Elohim Yahweh the Father.
You see how I just know the Son is not equal to his Father? This Trinity logos is from Satan. And it is hard because we got different generations in here. I think we got the youngest generation right here. But however long you heard this false doctrine, it takes that much longer to get it out of you. Let's do a quick little exercise. Y'all back me up when I say these phrases. Red, white, and
blue.
July 4th is what?
4th of July.
Independence Day.
You see how brainwashed we are? Now you imagine going to church 30-something years. Jesus is God. Christ is God. Christ is the Father became his son. The Father became his son. What kind of family you come from? Just asking logical. These children can make the pastor like, well, bless you, son. You don't know it yet, son. You'll get it in a minute. No, pastors. How's a son becoming a father? Just give it to me, pastor. I can take it. Give me the truth. I can take it. We're shooting down these pastors with logic. Pastor, just show me a verse. That's all I'm saying. Well, you got to understand the ultimate plan of salvation. Wait, whoa. Where's the verse about the ultimate plans of salvation? Well, he got a plan for mankind. What verse talking about his plan for mankind? I haven't found the word mankind nowhere in the text. So what John was really saying, family, we have 2 words in the Hebrew for speech or to say something. And this word that means to speak or say something, we start from the right side with that ox head. The Chicago Bull fans in here. Probably in the 90s, all y'all was.
Yeah.
Bam. Yeah. I hated Jordan. I was a Sixers fan. I loved Barkley. So I hated Michael Jordan with passion. I tried to play like him, but I hated him. So we start with the ox head, family. For those still learning, start with the ox heads and we move our way to the left. So that's Ah, Ma, and Ra is Amar. Amar means to say or to speak. So in this context, Ah, first, the strength. The Ma is the flow or the power. And the Ra is the head, the Most High. So in the beginning, John 1:1.
John 1:1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Yah, and the Word was Yah.
In the beginning, the Ah, the Word, the power, the Ma, because the Ma represents water, and water is powerful. So in the beginning, in the Ah, the Ma, the power, the Word was Yah. Before anything, there's Yah. He's the head, and Yah began to Amar. He began to speak. And the first thing he spoke was the first begotten. Who's the first begotten according to the text? So in the beginning, Amar, Barashat, in the beginning, Barashat, Amar Yahweh. Yahweh spoke. So in the beginning, the power of the Most High was manifest when he spoke, Amar. Y'all see that? You can't get this in the Greek and Latin. That's why your pastor is off with a logos and Trinity and all this mess. So Amar is it's not the most popular word, but you will see in the Old Testament. So one way to run this, the first power of our head. Who's the first power? Who's our head? No. Yahweh. Yahweh is the head, and who's the first power of our head? Yahweh. Y'all see how it makes sense?
Yeah, and then with these glyphs here too, like you said, it's the first power that was manifested from the Most High.
Most High.
Like, that's what I see with that. That first power.
I just try to use some words because I was going to run out of space on the screen. So I didn't put a full sentence there. I was trying to just chop it down. But go ahead, bring your thought out.
Yeah, and it just, that made it just, when I saw it, like when you first pulled that on the screen, light bulbs just started going off, because it's like that, like you said, with the water being power, the first, power that he manifested into something.
Somebody get Jenny. We gotta do this. Father, you're good to us. We don't deserve this. Now, I didn't run this like he just ran it. I was using the mind for power, right? But I just said water. Finish your thought, but somebody takes the Genesis 1.
His face covered over it. But here I'm just saying that, and flow too. So the power that flowed from the Most High manifested into, that first creature. And I think he said Genesis 1.
Just one.
So it just made sense that this would be more in line with what John was talking about in relation to the Messiah, because he was that first power that was manifested from the Most High.
Say it again,
Yeah, I was saying that this makes so much sense to me, because him being the first power, or the first that flowed, the first creature that flowed from the Most High, or the first power that was manifested from the chief, which is Yahweh. So him being that first creature, like Colossians was saying, it makes sense going in with what John was saying, because the Most High, he marred, or he spoke a word. That word was manifested from the chief. The first thing that was manifested was Yahweh Shai.
You know what? I can't use it. I can't use it because this is for the earth. What I was going to do, what Shamaria triggered me when he said water, the creation story, if you read it, everything on this earth came from the water. But Yahweh Shai is in the heavenly realm, so I can't use it. I don't think it's going to apply to here. That's what I was about to take y'all to. But everything else on the earth came
waters from the water.
Say that again.
Everything for us that the Father made for us, he brought forth from the water. But I'm not sure if Yahweh Shai came from the water. Because there's waters above us, because that's what you see. That blue is water. So I can't really, with confidence, say that he brought Hamashiach from the water or not. I thought the text was going to prove it, but I can't prove it. I can't prove it. But there's water above us. There's water above and below us. So if this was a court of law, I got circumstantial evidence that Hamashiach came from the water. The first of the water from Father. Y'all see where I was going with this?
Mm-hmm.
I just can't give no witnesses to prove that.
So, just so before I say anything, that word amar, what does that mean in English?
Speak, to say.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Can it be a word for like the word, or is that just a bar?
Right, yeah. So again, the context for Israelite, if I'm saying word or speak, I can use amar depending on the generation. Like me and Patrick, we come from a generation where we say a different word than y'all. Like we went from being a brick house. She's a brick house, and then she's fresh. She's dope in the 80s. Like man, she bad. Gina bad. Now y'all, I don't know what y'all saying. Now y'all use Molly's and Percocets. You know what these kids say. I don't know what these kids saying.
Bad. That's us. No, you talking about him.
Yeah, you talking about him. What these kids saying today about a pretty girl. But y'all see my point. Even in our Hebrew, generations use different words. So Moses would use a word that Ezekiel wouldn't use.